claim exemption so that they wouldn't take any taxes out. Is that correct?
Right.
Then after a while, they came and said you can't do that and put an injunction and they're taking a certain amount out of your earnings.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got a solution for that. Actually, I'm going to start with you because that's very good. Now, I'm going to pull up this form. Let me see which one it is. This is the W-4 form. And what we're going to do is, this is not the W-4 form, but what it is, it's a form. Can y'all see that form? Notice to all workers, employers regarding voluntary nature of the IRS form W-4. That's the form you filled out that told them how much you wanted them to take out, right? And you put exemption, right? But here's the problem with this form. This form is for U.S. citizens. So when you fill out this form, you're giving them consent to take money out. That's how come the IRS can come and put an injunction to control how much you take out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the law on this form from their code. Because let's see. Let's go back to that form. And the code was, sometimes this thing is a little hard to see. Hang on. It's the code section 3402 P1. I have that page pulled up. I just want to make sure I had it all pulled up. 3121 7701. Hang on. Here it is right here. This is what the code said in CFR Title 26, CFR 31.3402 P-1 voluntary withholding agreement. I'm going to read this. Can y'all see this? All right. Here it is. A, in general, an employee and his employer may enter into an agreement under Section 3402B to provide for the withholding of income tax upon payments of amounts described in paragraph B1 of 31.3401A-3. Made after December 31st, 1970. I don't want to mute people out. Mute out, but try to keep the background noise to a minimum so that everybody can hear. But if it gets too out of control, I'm going to have to mute everybody out in order to go over this. All right? Because somebody's got some... All right. I'm going to go after the ones that's making the... Hang on. Let me just get all of these background noise out. Okay, here we go.
24.
All right. I'm muting everybody. There you go.
All participants are muted.
Except for Terrell Van, I'm going to unmute yours. All right. Here we go. Where was I? Section 61 must be applicable to all such amounts paid by the employer to the employee. The amount to be withheld pursuant to an agreement under the Section 3402P shall be determined under the rules contained in Section 3402 and the regulations thereunder. All right. That there said it is voluntary for you to fill this form out. So whenever you fill these forms out, you are entering into an agreement for them to take money out, and that's how they ask you how many exemptions you want to do. So basically, you can put exempt on this form if you want to. But the problem with this form is, by you agreeing to this, they can come back, the IRS can come back and do anything they want to you. You see, because you just said, I'm a U.S. citizen, I reside in the District of Columbia, and you can extort money from me whenever you want to. That's basically the way I look at it. You could rob me. You could take 30% of my income of my labor. And here's the reason why income tax should not be taxed. Because if I hire you, Terrell, to do a job, we agree on a payment. Let's say I'm gonna pay you $1,000 a week to do some work for me, right? You're trading your labor for compensation. There is no profit in that. You see what I'm saying? I'm paying you to do a specific job. You don't profit. That's not profit. Only businesses do profit. So that's the only thing that should be taxed. And I'm going to show you in North Carolina's Constitution, this is one of the only constitutions that I've ever seen where it's written this clearly about taxes. Are y'all seeing that clearly?
Yeah.
All right. This is not the right one I want. Let me see. Where's my bookmarks at? Hang on. I see a few people joined in. Hang on. Trying to find y'all the right constitution. I have it. See, that's the courts. Because in their constitution, it tells you straight up that they can't even tax purchases. For some reason here in I'm in North Carolina right now, and for some reason, they you go to the store and you pay a tax.
Right.
All right, here we go. All right, it's section. Never could find it when you need it. Here it is, right here, section 16, ex post facto laws. Retrospective laws punishing acts committed before the existence of such laws and by them only declared criminal or oppressive, unjust, and incompatible with liberty, and therefore ex post facto law no ex post facto law shall be enacted. No law taxing retrospectively sales, purchases, or other acts previously done shall be enacted. That's right there in their constitution. But somehow they are still taxing people of this state. But you know that all constitutions work together, because they work together with the federal constitution. So how are they doing this? Because no one is questioning it. No one is going in and saying, you're not supposed to be taxing me. No one is putting an injunction on it. And here it is in section 8. The people of this state should not be taxed or made subject to the payment of any impost or duty without the consent of themselves or their representatives in the General Assembly freely given. Right there, it says it. See, a lot of people say, well, how can I get around this tax, right? It's given to you right here in the Constitution. How can I stop them? What can I use or say to stop the taxes, right? Right here under the rights of your religious freedoms. You see? You're supposed to be paying duty to God. You can even use the Bible. You can say, the Bible says, yes, pay Caesar thing to Caesar, pay God's thing to God's. But since you're a free living being, you live under God. So all your money is for God, not for them. And you can use that. I'm trying to find it where it says it here in this Constitution. About religious freedoms. But everybody knows that's there.
Right.
Here it is. Established, recognized. No religious. Well, it's in here. The religious freedoms. Every constitution has that. Here it is. All persons have a natural and inalienable right to worship Almighty God according to the dictates of their own conscience, and no human authority shall, in any case whatever, control or interfere with the rights of conscience. Right here, section 13, it says it. See, these are the things we're not using. See, when we go into these courtrooms, we go into these things, we're allowing them to have power over us because we assume that they have power. But this Constitution says they don't have power. You give them power. And if you bring up religion in anything, they can't do anything with that. Like, for instance, I went into the courtroom and I had that in my paperwork. It is my religious beliefs that I don't have to pay child support. And I only answer to God. That's it. And the judge was flipping through that paperwork. And usually in a case with child support, they'll still go and give child support regardless, because a parent can't take that right according to their laws. But that didn't happen in my case. But anyway, let's get back to the subject. Let's get back to that form I was reading. Or that law. Where was I? All right. We were talking about the voluntary nature of. I got too many windows open. Hang on, let me close some of this stuff. Where is my Safari? I must have shut it down. What is that phone? I must have closed that window out on y'all. Alright. But anyway, let me pull that code up again. So, Teravan, did that kind of clear up that for you while I'm trying to pull that back up?
Crystal.
So, what you're going to have to do in your case is, now, are they making you owe money? Are you paying them extra money? Like, they're saying you owe?
They just actually shut it, just actually stopped me from claiming exempt. They're taking money out, but they're not taking more than like
They're supposed to.
They're not garnished.
Yeah, you need to pull that code up and tell them how voluntary that is. Because it's an agreement between you and the employer. They can't force you to do that. Now, this other form that I'm gonna pull up that's that one. Here's the other form. Notice W4. Let's see. This is the right one. This is what happens. This is what everyone should be doing when they're on the job, right here. Notice to all workers and employers regarding the possession and use of Social Security numbers. The Social Security Act requires that Social Security Administration to establish and maintain records of wages and self-employment income for each individual whose work is covered under the program. A Social Security number is needed for that purpose. No Social Security benefits will be paid to you unless you obtain and use a Social Security number. Basically, what this form is showing you that your Social Security number was solely created for the purpose of Social Security benefits. So when you get old, you create an account and they put money in it supposedly. You know that doesn't work like that. And you get paid when you collect on it when you retire. But what they did was they converted that number to also take extra money by the states, either state income tax and federal income taxes. But really, that number was provided solely for the Social Security Act. So here's what you do. I'm gonna skip down this form. Here's all the codes and the laws right there in this form. And I shared this form. Y'all should be able to see it where you can download it to your computer. These forms. I'm gonna make sure y'all have it before we end this one. It said if you do not wish your employer to use your Social Security number, you should tell them in writing that you elect to withdraw the use of your Social Security number and request your employer to enter the phrase employee refused to provide in the space provided for Social Security number if and when your employer reports your wages and taxes. And here are the law that gives you the right to do this. 18 U.S.C. Section 242 and 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 provides that whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in the state, territory, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 further provides that a violator shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for redress. 42 U.S.C. Section 408 provides that whoever discloses, uses, or compels the disclosure of the Social Security number of any person in violation of laws of the United States shall be guilty of a felony, and upon conviction thereof shall be fined under Title 18 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years or both. So basically, you can withdraw the social from your employer, or when you get in the job, don't give it to them. And here's what they can put in that place. Employer refused to provide. You do not have to. And I'm going to go, I have that code pulled up, so you don't think it's just on this form. I do have that code pulled up. 42 USC, where are you? Voluntary nature. 42 USC. Okay. Here it is. Section 8. Discloses use or compelled to disclose of Social Security number of any person in violation of the laws of the United States shall be guilty of a felony upon conviction, therefore shall be fined under Title 18 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years. So they cannot make you give it, even in their code. That's in 42 U.S. Code, Section 408, penalties for anyone who tries to make you give up your social. The only way they can take taxes out of your check if you give up the social. So what we got to stop doing is stop giving up that social. Don't give it to them. And if they give you a problem, you pull out this information. Here's where it says, I don't have to give you a social, and they cannot fire you for not giving it up. I just showed you that. All right. Terry, you got any more questions before I move on?
Nope.
So now you know how to handle this? You think you can handle this?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I ain't got to the letter that I'm going to show y'all what to use if you owe them money. So let's move on. Let's open up the mics again.
So basically, Akeem, you said the key to this is not to be a citizen that's under their authority. So basically, public and private once again.
Absolutely. That is the key. You got to be private. Well, we understand that not all of y'all can get off the plantation and have a business for yourself. I hope everybody is aspiring to that eventually, but we know that y'all just can't quit your jobs. So what we're showing y'all ways of getting just a little more richer and keeping a lot more of your money. Now I'm gonna tell you, before I got on this information, I always claimed exempt. And then they came at me and wanted me to file taxes. All I did was send them a letter. But good thing was I had started to get on this information. And when they tried to get me to file or they said I owed, I just sent them a letter and asking them simple questions. And I'm going to show you the responses. You know what I'm saying? You know, because sometimes I have filed in the past and they wanted me to pay. Even in that, think about it. They want you to file. They say you have to file, right? But it doesn't mean you have to pay.
Now, I had got a letter. You had put a letter on right before the meeting started. You had locked out your social security number.
Right.
I had got one of those same letters because I didn't file for 2009. And when I transferred my estate over through the 8832 to my foreign trust, they had sent me that letter not too long ago saying for 2009 you haven't resolved this matter, and however you do not have to take further action on this matter at that time.
See what they do is that's a trick. They'll send you a letter like that saying you don't have to do anything, but they're waiting 30 days to send you another letter saying that you owe. So what you do with a letter like that, you put no contract on it. Send it back.
Administrative process, and they want you to stay sound.
Right.
Why we tell you to write on it, no contract, and send it back to them. Every letter, you gotta answer everything so that they don't do the administrative process on you. The person who does the best administrative process is the IRS.
Right.
They trick your ass.
You gotta stay on them. You gotta be diligent. You know, I probably corresponded with the IRS this summer probably no less than 20, 30 times.
Now, let me say this also that when you're doing the 8832 and all that, if you put those years back to like 20 years ago, they're automatically going to send you a letter stating that you need to file tax. So if you did the 8832 and made it the current year, you wouldn't have received nothing. But that's where you're supposed to put down and use, I'm not obligated to pay no U.S. tax return. You understand what that statement is saying is that you are not a U.S. citizen. That's what that statement means, and it came right out of the manual. I'm not required to file a U.S. tax return. Because, you know, in United States of America, you weren't responsible for taxes. It's only in the U.S. that you're responsible for tax.
Okay, I got a question.
Go ahead.
All right, it's downbreak. So do you have to be totally private for that to work, or can you just be...
Nah.
You gotta understand, you're gonna need an illegus to do everything in the world. Now the question is, are you gonna use their illegus or your illegus? But can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
But what you gotta understand is that you're not responsible for their stuff. The truth is, you already have your private side and you have your public side. You've only been knowing how to use the public side. So when you write something like "I'm not responsible for U.S. tax return" and all that, that's using that private side that you already have. Remember, see, I noticed what he said, brother that's on the screen. He messed up when he said, "I seen you blocked out your social security number." We gotta stop making statements like that. The statement like that puts it in your subconscious mind that you are still that straw man. You see what I'm saying? You supposed, in your everyday talk, you're supposed to separate. You like, I noticed that you blocked out the illegal social security. That's the way you want to start talking. See, because that means that the change is happening in your mind. I hear every day when people keep on calling themselves that illegal. The funny thing is, when y'all create the estate or y'all create the 9-8, y'all ain't calling that person yourself. You know what I mean? If you're gonna call any of those illegals yourself, call that 9-8 yourself. If you notice, that's what I do. Y'all gonna hear me say my name is Jonah John Scott. I always say I'm Jonah John Bay. That's my 9-8 number. In my mind, that's the only illegus I have is Jonah Parmesan Bay, the one I created. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, brother, you don't have to. It starts in your mind first when you know how to separate.
Okay, so I just go to my employer and do what Akeem said, have them stop using the social and they won't pull the taxes out.
I did a W-8 bin and all of that for my wife. And truthfully, that's how my wife turned a job into her own business. She started becoming a contractor and been that way for the last 15 years.
Right.
Okay, see, that's why I get confused.
Make sure your job loves you because they might buy that ass.
I don't think no job really loves you. Everybody's expendable for as long as.
Now, you know what? If you know how to do a job on your job that no one else knows how to do, you're pretty safe, man. They may not like your ass, but they ain't gonna get rid of you. They need you to train the next person, and just make sure you don't go around training nobody.
Well, yeah, I stopped doing that because I turn wrenches for a living. I'm a diesel mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So, they always overlook me. I've been doing this over 25 years, but
that sounds about right.
They have me to come in and train people to run the place. So I stopped this a few years.
Stop doing that.
I stopped doing it.
You're fucking up your job security, bro.
Right.
All participants are muted.
I'm trying to
All
unmute.
participants are muted.
Hey, I'm starting to unmute some people. Where's Jonah at? Jonah. Alright. Somebody got an echo. Who is that? Let me kill this echo.
It's not me. Peace to
I got it. I got him out. I got who it was. That was Nina.
Yeah, that wasn't me. I muted myself just to see if it was me. Is that Khalif?
Yeah, Khalifa in there. Peace. All right, we're gonna move on, and before I get to the next person who's got an issue, so we can attack that directly. Okay, somebody got an echo. Who is that? Whoever's running two computers, that's where that echo is coming from. Got it. All right. Bank accounts. I know y'all want to know about that, right? How do I open up a bank account without using the social? Well, here it is. Here's the form. 2 financial institutions and account holders regarding the possession and use of Social Security numbers. 31 CFR 103.28 requires identification as follows. Before concluding any transaction with respect to which a report is required under Section 103.22, a financial institution shall verify and record the name and address of the individual presenting a transaction, as well as record the identity, account number, and the Social Security or taxpayer identification number, if any. Somebody saying something?
I can't really talk right now.
All right, who is that? And all right. Financial institutions may be required to ask for proper identification and a Social Security number. The financial institution is required to make a record of the identity records that you provide to them. However, there is no law requiring an account holder or customer to provide a Social Security number. Additionally, there is no law prohibiting a financial institution from opening an account or completing a transaction because a customer lacks a Social Security number. 31 CFR 103.33 requires financial institutions to include a notation in the record that a customer lacks a Social Security number or certain other identification. In the event that bank has been unable to secure the required identification, it shall nevertheless not be deemed to be a violation of this section if it has made a reasonable effort to secure such identification, and it maintains a list containing the names, address, and account numbers of those persons from whom it has been unable to secure such identification, and makes the names, addresses, and account numbers of those persons available to the secretary as directed by it. This goes back to the law where you don't have to disclose it. It goes like it's the same as the other form. It has those two things, color of law. I would even have that color of law form ready that we were talking about, Jonah talked about on Wednesday. I'll get that prepared and have that ready. And you can use 42 USC section 408 so that you don't have to provide your social, because the whole reason why they want the social so they can track it and tax it. So this is, once again, private, not wanting to give up that social. This is what's keeping us with the problems. Now, all right, I'm going on to the next person. Who's got tax issues and what is it? Who? Let's see. Let's open up the mic here. Kenneth Jones. He ain't there. Susan. I'm opening up mic. Speak now so we can move on, because I'm gonna go into the letters and how to attack these letters of assessment.
There's nobody else to answer. I'll go back in.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, my wife, me and the wife are separated, but she got a letter that says she owes the IRS $6,000.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
You got a harder one? So basically, they just sent her a letter saying, you owe me some money. Right?
Because right now she's not accepting the information that you guys are putting. So we're like on two sides of the fence.
So how do you love her? You want to help her?
If she fails, my girl fails, so I have to help her.
Okay.
I don't see how you can. She can only help herself. If she's not accepting the information, how you gonna do it for her?
Yeah, I mean, Jonah's got a point. Like, listen, one of the people I helped get out of a tax debt, I'll tell you what happened. They inherited a large amount of money, right? And they took a portion of that money, about $20,000 of it, and paid off their student loans with it. Not realizing that they had to pay taxes on all this money that they inherited, especially if they are a U.S. citizen or they're public. So the next year, needless to say, they had a $9,000 debt. And I spent, this was my soon-to-be ex-wife, I spent all summer fighting those letters. And I was successful. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
I was successful. She contracted with them. They wanted $9,000. But, huh? After I was successful, we got into an argument, and she told me it wasn't working. None of that stuff working. See, what people are wanting from the IRS is a definite, hey, we don't owe you any money. But I'm going to show you how they respond when you, went back and got a part-time job and filed a W-4, which means she recontracted with them. So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to come back for that money. And how they're going to come back for that money is through her check. Because they're going to just garnish it. They're not going to give any warning. They're just going to take it. That's usually how it happens. Because now they know that she wasn't the one doing it. I was. But that's not my problem anymore. That's her problem. You see what I'm saying? I did what I was supposed to do. So what I'm trying to say to you is, brother, you can go in, I'll give you the remedy, but the problem you're gonna have is the pushback. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are so attached to the system, they don't care what you say. They believe them. Now, all the information I know, she went and got a lawyer and all of this stuff, and her lawyer couldn't even speak in the courtroom when we were in there. So she paid him just to stand next to her. She paid him to stand next to him. That's all she did. You know what I'm saying? Waste of money. So what I'm saying is, for the sake of this webinar, I'm gonna go in on how you handle this. That problems like this, and this is typical. Probably most of the people on this call has this problem. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the letter that I used. Can y'all see that? Can y'all? I'm gonna try to make it bigger. Hang on. How do I make this bigger? Are you able to read that?
I'm trying to figure out how to make it bigger on my side.
All right, hang on. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull it off my computer, and I'm gonna pull it off my computer and let y'all see it.
They gave $50. That's simple. What if you did with the $450?
Who's that talking? Mute your mic out. Hang on.
You just might go some shopping. You got
Yeah.
it.
I got it.
Participants are muted.
All right. Hang on, let me unmute some people.
We still can't really see it. It's still too small.
You can't see this?
No.
It's a little too small.
All right.
That ain't the first time you heard that.
Oh, you trying to hit me below the belt, huh? Lucky, I'm a confident man, and your opinion don't matter. Only her opinion matters. So, long as I ain't hearing it from her, I'm good.
Hey, you are getting a divorce, right?
Oh. Ah, okay. All right. You got that one. All right. Can y'all see that now? Is that better? Damn. Hold on. I'm gonna try to go. How about that? All right. So with the letters that they sent me for what was owed, I'm starting at the top. Me and actually Keith Bay and another brother, we put this letter together, and we did the research on this. All right, and it says here, it is not now, nor has it been my intention to avoid paying any obligation that I lawfully owe. In order that I can make arrangements to investigate the matter further, I am requesting the following information from the Secretary of the Treasury as defined in Title 26, U.S. Code Section 7701, A11, A and B12A1, 27 CFR 2611, 26 U.S. Code 6301. Now, we went through all of these codes, and what I'm about to do, we're going to go through those codes, and I'm going to have to shrink this for the sake of pulling up the codes. Let's see. All right. Come on. USC. Y'all gonna start seeing some interesting things in here once you look at these codes. This is the definition page of the code. This is where it says a person shall be construed to mean include an individual or trust, a state, partnership, associate, company, or partnership. These are just the definitions. Now, the term United States, when includes, used in a geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. Y'all seeing that? Somebody give me a confirmation. Did y'all see that? Now, it's the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia, where what such construction is necessary to carry out provisions of this title. See, they try to trick you with the definition of child number 9, where it said includes only the states and the District of Columbia. Then you look at state, it says the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia. And nowhere else does it say where you reside, you're responsible for taxes. Now, the term Secretary of the Treasury means the Secretary of the Treasury personally and shall not include any delegate of his. The term Secretary means the Secretary of the Treasury or his delegate. Right? And there's a reason why we put the letter together that way, because what we found out was, let me get rid of this little sidebar. How do I get rid of this damn thing? All right, here we go. What we found out, we put Secretary of the Treasury. In our research, we realized that the Secretary of the Treasury is the only one allowed to assess you or do an assessment. So when you're getting notices within this territory, that's not the Secretary of the Treasury they're talking about. And I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to try to locate that so y'all can see that. Let's see. Go Google B12A. B12A 7701. Hang on. Let me do a search here. This little bar is always in the way. Let's see. See if I can find it that way. It's giving me the same one. Trying to find y'all where it talks about who the Secretary of the Treasury is. Commissioner. Oh yeah, this is a good one here. United States person. The term United States person means a citizen or the resident of the United States. We all know that we are not citizens, U.S. persons. You're not a 14th Amendment citizen. So you got to make that clear, because Jonah did on the show a few weeks ago about how that term U.S. person is residing in the District of Columbia. Who's texting me? Dang. Oh, but let me find this code for y'all. 7701 B12.
Hey, Akeem.
Go ahead.
Are you talking about 26 USC 6331?
No, I'm talking about 267701 B12A1.
As far as the secretary?
Yeah. I want to go through every code I have on here so y'all know why we put those codes on there. Why? You got that one up? You know which one that is? Mm-hmm.
And you, if she sends or he or she sends you a letter, that you have 10 days to respond, and it's talking about the District of Columbia.
Right. I think we have 60. The 6331 you have or 6301.
It's not 6331.
I got.
All right. Yeah, 26 6331.
All right. I'm trying to find y'all this code here. Oh, let's see if this one is here. This is not the one I wanted. Somebody texted me they got pulled over by the police and they got the injunction in place. This is not it. Why the hell I can't find it? It's only giving me the definition. See, they done moved everything around. Every time we use something, they move it around, so it make it very hard for you to find it again. Because the pages I had highlighted are not there anymore. Let's see if you copy it. All right, here we go. Let's see if this will do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Title 15 USC?
I didn't use that on this paperwork. No. I'm not. I've probably seen it.
That deals with the tax liens also.
Well, when I did this letter, it removed that tax lien. Because they see what this letter does. Let's go over the letter because I can't find that specific page. What this letter does is you give them these codes, and we research these codes, and in one of these codes, it shows you that the Secretary of the Treasury is in Puerto Rico, and they're the only ones with the authority to do an assessment on you. So here's the questions we raise. What is the revenue taxable activity which you have determined that I am involved in? What statute passed by Congress and enacted into positive law renders the activity identified in Article 1 of this request subject to tax? Please state whether the tax that you seek to collect is an impost, custom, duty, or an excise tax. All documentation you relied on prior to generating the attached communication from your Kansas City office or whatever office you decide to use. Now, we did have 63.1 in here also. My research indicates that the IRS authority to levy is found at 26 USC section 6331. Further, 26 USC section 6331 provides for an administrative lien contingent on an assessment, which can also be administratively determined. There are two unmistakable conclusions when reading 26 USC section 6331 in the annotated. One being that an assessment is required prior to a levy, and two, that the 26 USC section 6331 only applies to those employed by the government or government contractors. Please cite what other statute authorizes a levy on parties in the private sector, or furnish me with an assessment including all evidence that you have in your files which show that I am a federal employee or that I am under a contractual obligation to the federal government. Please note, failure to comply, then we put all of their codes showing what the penalties were. Then number 2, my research also showed the only office authorized to collect taxes imposed is the Secretary of the Treasury in Puerto Rico under 26 USC Code Section 6301. Okay, that's where it's at, where you'll find that. I have never received any correspondence or made any contract with the Secretary to pay any taxes. Communicate to me in writing that after further review, you have determined that I have no tax due and owing for the years of 2014. Please sign your determination under penalty of perjury and forward a copy to the Commissioner. Please note, failure, of course, we put our penalties, and then gave them 10 days. And then we thanked them, basically. So basically, this is the letter that I have used. And I send this letter one time, and every 10 days, I send it again until I default them. Now, here is the response that I got. Where's my email? All right, y'all can see that? Do I need to make it larger?
Yeah, make it bigger.
All right. How about that?
That's good.
All right. It said, "Dear taxpayer, thanks for your correspondence." Of course, we know we're not taxpayers, right? We know that. Let me see if I can close this little window over here. So I can read this better. It said, "Thank you for your correspondence of August 13, 2015. We haven't resolved this matter because we haven't completed." This is actually the second letter. Let me read that's like after I kept sending it. It says, "We received one of the following items from you or your authorized third party on August 6, 2015. You know, when I was sending these letters, I was sending them as the real man. So I was putting care of such and such. Then I had my last name, first name in lowercase. That's how I was sending everything. Then they have the correspondence. It says, "We are working on your account. In order to provide a complete response, we need an additional 45 days. This is another second letter. I couldn't find, for some reason, I couldn't find all my letters because, I had to move out of my house and all of that stuff. So they're in some file somewhere. 45 days to let you know what action we are taking on your account. You don't need to take any further action now on this matter." Then they have their address. And if you prefer, you can write us at the address at the top of the page, blah, blah, blah. This is another way to contract with you. Because what they do is say, well, give us additional 45 days. And they're hoping you don't say anything. So what I do with this letter is no contract. And I send my notice again until they're defaulted. Because when you do that, you let them know you're still pursuing, hey, I need answers. Because if you sit on this for 45 days and don't do anything, they're going to come back with some, oh, you owe us, and now you got to start the process all over again. Now, with this situation, they had sent a levy notice. By the time I sent the notices, I was on the levy notice where we intend to levy you. So this stopped the levy notice, and they have not come back and asked for anything else since then. And that, you see what the date is on that, right? August. We're in December now because I defaulted them. So this is what you're gonna see. You're never gonna see, hey, you don't owe us any money. You're gonna see letters like this, and you're gonna see about 2 or 3 of these letters like this when they do that. And here's the one from, this is actually another issue on the 13th, and they said they needed 30 more days to reply. Now, how does that make sense? They're saying you owe them money, right? That's what they're saying. But when you send them a notice saying, how do I owe you money, they need time to research it. How's that? How did they didn't have enough research to send you when they sent you the bill? Why? Because all of this stuff is auto-generated. a computer spits out these numbers and they mail them to you randomly and say, well, you owe us money. I've seen them send bills for $30,000, and then when it got questioned, they came back and said $10,000. You see, somebody's got an echo. All right. So y'all understand that one. Anybody got any questions on that?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
When you write no contract on the top of your
I write no contract across the words in red. No contract, big letters.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you sign your signature up under that?
Under here, when I put no contract, I don't sign the paperwork. I just put no contract, and then I send my letter with it, and then I have that signed. You know.
I was asking because when I put no contract on the documents that was sent to me and I returned, I placed that at the top of the letter and then signed my signature up on it. Is that a
I never done that. I don't sign anywhere on that form. I just put no contract, and then I send another letter with it, and that'll have my signature on it or my mark on it. That's what I've done. I don't see a problem with you doing that though.
okay?
That's not, to me, I don't see that being a big deal. Yeah. So you can, I mean, if you feel like you want to put you sign no contract and do that, personally, I wouldn't, because
The only thing I say about putting your signature, you know they can monetize your signature. Why you want to give them a payment?
right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
All I put is no contract on there. I'm unmuting some mics.
No contract.
Okay.
So you don't have to use a notary?
I have used the notary, and in some of these letters, I didn't use the notary. But what I did was I sent everything certified return receipt, and make sure that I got those receipts back. Yeah, that made sure that when I was tracking it everywhere. Who was that? I opened up some mics. All right, here we go. All right, anybody else?
That a little bit because a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I just shut them down. What was that? Where was I? What you miss?
I asked about if you have to use a notary, but I didn't hear you.
Yeah, you can. I've used the notary. Yes, on my letters, I use the notary. You know, and some of them I didn't, but most of them I used the notary because that gives it more credibility that you're serious. You know, anything that can be proven must be proven.
You gotta get used to everything that you send out. You need to be sending it notary presentment to have proof that you sent it. You third party that has nothing to do with it can prove that you sent it. With your notary plus, you got proof from the post office by registered restricted mail. Y'all gotta get used to doing that. Whatever you're doing within the United States, you're gonna need your proof that you went within and said, leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Okay, so I guess my next question would be, what's a good way to find a local notary that'll work for you?
Well, what I did was I paid for some people to be notaries, people that I know, so that I can use them at my disposal. I paid in South Carolina to be a notary, it's only $25.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
So I paid them.
I'm not sure about Missouri, but I'll look into it.
You look into it. Find somebody you know. I'm gonna make you a notary. Pay the fee, because in South Carolina, all I had to do was have a voter registration card, and that was it. And
Okay, do they fringe on it if it's a family member or anything?
nope, it don't matter. It could be your spouse. Long as a notary cannot sign for their paperwork, but they can sign for their spouse's paperwork, girlfriend, whoever. You know, I use somebody who's not really on this information and they're not really interested in doing any of this. But, you know, of course, I give them, you know, some money for helping me out, you know, to make it worth their while. But this way, this person is not giving you a hard time about anything. Now, I have also used the county clerks as to sign off on some stuff, especially when it came to the birth certificate affidavit. I went up there with the affidavit and had them notarize it. Then give me the authentication paperwork to authenticate that notary. I've done that.
That's how I did mine as well. You know, that was before all of y'all started doing it, so I'm pretty sure now they'll give me problems.
Well, in my area in South Carolina, there's people doing stuff, but they're not doing it the right way. So this whole process of, you know, administrative process is relatively, there's not a lot of people doing administrative processes around here. So when I walk into these county offices, they're doing it with no problem. But I find small towns, you know, every place got a small town that you can go into. They just do it. For me, they do. I just say, hey, I just need you, can y'all notarize something for me? And they do it. Yeah, because to them, all they notarizing is your signature. They're not reading the forms that you have. Like, for instance, when I entered into some stuff on my case, I had the injunction, I had all kind of stuff in there. And all they did was clock all that stuff in. No resistance. But then again, I had it in my mind that I was going to get it done. I would go there with the intention or the assumption that I was going to get a hard time. Some of people are going into these places with their mind already prepared for a war, to fight these people. When I go into those places, I go in with a spirit of cooperation. Hey, you know, I need help with something. Can y'all notarize this for me? It's about the tone, how you approach the situation. Anybody else got any questions? Anybody else? It's all the same. Use the same process. Because how does the state determine taxes? Brother, how does the state determine taxes? An LLC, that's a business. That's for profit. So you're going to have to pay taxes on that. You know, any business, see, the tax code was designed for businesses, any profit that you're making. So you're going to have to deal with those taxes, but there's ways around that, you know, through write-offs and stuff like that. You know, you learn how to maximize your write-offs. You know, I know about that because I started my business as an LLC. But when I started this process, I've switched it up. I don't use LLC because when you do an LLC, you have just given your business over to the state. They become your business is now a franchise of the state, so they get to tax everything: your furniture, your tools, the money. Every dime you make is taxed.
You couldn't do like an instrument for business, could you?
You can try to this. Let me tell you what I know about people who have used instruments on the state level. The cops come knocking on the door. You see what I'm saying? I've seen that. They did the instrument and they did it right. But remember, you're doing an instrument on an LLC, a business that belongs to the state. So basically, that's in their jurisdiction to tax it. So trying to do an instrument is mixing public with private. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know that's a no-no, mixing public with private. You use instruments for your private stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, a brother did it here. They came knocking on his door and tried to get him for check fraud and all kind of other stuff.
So all LLCs are pretty much useless then, because I got one from back in 2006.
Yes, they're useless.
Maybe I can use it for credit purposes or something.
Well, you can use it, but I mean, an LLC and a regular business, when it comes to credit purposes, it's just the EIN and what the paydex score is on Dun and Bradstreet Street. So it doesn't matter.
It's not useless if you're doing a public business. Let's say, for instance, you got a barber shop, you got somewhere that you sell food. You're dealing with the public. LLC is good to protect you from the public suing you, right?
Right.
But let's say, for instance, you have those same two businesses, a barber shop and a eatery or a restaurant, but you have it private. In other words, the only people that can get a cut is private members. The only people that can go get something to eat is private membership. So therefore, you don't need an LLC to actually have a private restaurant or a private barbershop. You know, it's the same as Uber. Uber can get away with what it's doing because it's totally private by private contract to each person. It's not for the public. You know, if you're standing on a corner and you see an Uber taxi, you can't catch that taxi. They can't pick you up because they have no contract with you. Right?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I use this old LLC for flipping houses. I just kept it around. I didn't solve it or whatever. See if I can make it.
I mean, you can make use of it. It's just sitting there because it cured some, and that EIN is good for credit. I mean, if you need money, I would use it for those purposes.
Yeah, because I was told the older the LLC is, the better your
right.
credit.
Well, it's not so much the LLC, it's the older that EIN number is. That's the key. Right. The longer that is, because, for instance, if I have an LLC and I just got it and I walk into a cell phone store to get a phone, they're going to want me to put down a deposit. But if I have it for 6 months or more, I'm not going to have to put on the deposit on it. I mean, I'm talking about stuff that I've done, you know. So, and that's without any credit that I've gotten on it. But it's just, they look at age of that EIN number. So, yeah, I mean, it's good for those purposes. If, you know, if you're trying to get some capital, I would keep it around for that. But when you're talking about taxes, anytime you start to make a profit with that business, you're going to be required to file a tax on that. Now, here's the thing. They're coming after the business. And remember, you are not the business, the person, the living person. See, a lot of people get hooked up in their businesses where they want to garnish bank accounts, personal bank accounts and all of that, because what they did was they mixed their private and public life together. And that's how come I know people where they're going after, they got jobs now, regular jobs, and they're taking money from a business that they had from their paycheck. That's because they entered into that contract to allow that to happen. They can't do that. The taxes is on the business, not on you, the individual. But everybody contracts with them and says, okay, you can do this, because they think they can do it. So, anyway, any other questions? I want to unmute some mics.
The letter that you're looking at right now, did you you put your signature on the bottom of it?
Yeah. By last name, comma, first name, lowercase. Yes, I did.
Okay.
That's how I signed it. And then we CC'd right here to this address. I'm leaving it up there so y'all can get it. Y'all want to get that letter down. I'm leaving it there so y'all can get it. That's why I'm doing that. And those little, anybody that want these little forms, because I don't charge for these forms. The ones that show you the different, what to give the employer, just email me and I'll shoot you copies of this. These forms. These are the ones I'm talking about right here. These forms were provided to me as a donation and I was not charged for it, so I'm not going to charge you for it. So if y'all want these, email me and I will send you these forms so you can have them. All right? You got this, the W-4. Who is that? Somebody just farted in the daggone mic? What? Oh, somebody sound like a robot. Who is that? Who is that? Yo, asking a question? Hold on. Well, what's the name first? What's the name? All right, let me go down to Dawn because we got you must have a bad connection because your mic is distorted. Hang on before we get you. You talking about Dawn Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. You must be on the public internet.
Yes.
Yeah, because you look like you're in the library. All right. This is what I want you to do. Can you put your question in chat? Because I cannot understand. You know what you do? Close your, turn off your camera. That should give you more bandwidth. Can you know how to do that? You still got a bad because I can't hear anything. All right, go. Hit. All right, what I'm gonna do is open up a chat for you, and you type your question there because I can't chat. Hang on. Let me see. Let me get the chat going here. Show chat. All right. I'm going to send you a message. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. Type your question there. Y'all be wanting everybody to see y'all beautiful faces. All right, did you send it?
Yeah.
I don't see it. Hang on. Oh, I see Vince 2 had a question too. I don't see it. It didn't come to me, that question. Let me see. Okay, I see a lot of questions here in the chat, but I'm trying to get you to send me, but I don't see your question. You saw the hello that I sent you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and state your question. Let me see if I can understand it. Go ahead. Go ahead and speak it. You said something about taxes and penalties? Oh, 401k investments. Okay. The problem with the 401k is when you fill out the 401k, you agree that it can be taxed if you withdraw on it early. Is that mainly your question?
Yes.
If you withdraw on it early, you agree that they can take some of the money. But here's the thing. Here's the loophole. When you withdraw on the money, tell them not to tax it. Because you can do that. You can get your straight money from them. Then when it comes time for the filing, then you can use this process. If they say you owe some money, you can say, well, why do I owe money? And you send this letter. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to get that on the back end. So get your money up front, and then if it's ever questioned about you owe taxes, like I told you, when it was my soon-to-be ex-wife, she did her taxes, like everybody else, and this what this said she owed, and I started this process on it, and it stopped that. You understand what I'm saying? Now the problem she's gonna have is she went and got another job part-time and filled out another W-4 form. So now she put herself back in there under their radar. So it's all about recontracting with them. So what's going to happen eventually, they're going to see that when it comes time to do taxes, because she's going to go and do the taxes again. And they're going to take that money from her. So because she recontracted, it's all about a contract. That other form said it's voluntary for you to even fill out the W-4 form. You got it? All right. All right. Let's see. Let me get to some of these questions off the chat. Somebody said they cannot have a copy of the letter. The letter that I just read, this letter here, you can get the copy off of this webinar by looking at it, typing it out. But if you want me to give you a copy of it, it will be up on my site for sale. I haven't determined how much that's going to be, because we put a lot of work into this letter and we vetted it. So this is a fully, pretty much ironclad letter, if you want to say that. So, but all of the other ones, like these notices, y'all could have that for free because that was donated to me, and I'm in turn donating that to y'all. And y'all can use this on your jobs or whatever. You get back to the chat here. Somebody had a question while I was pulling up the chat. Somebody had a question.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I'm already in the system.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to get out of the system. I entered into an agreement for a payment arrangement.
All right. Send that letter. Send that letter to him. Remember, it's all voluntary. When you're dealing with a contract, you got to think about a contract. You can rescind your signature in that contract anytime you so deem necessary. So what do? Send them a letter stating, okay, you guys got me on this payment plan, but I'm researching. I would redo this letter based on your situation and say, well, according to this, I don't really owe y'all money, but can y'all explain to me what is the authority that you're using to collect this money?
Gotcha.
And you got to remember, IRS is a third-party debt collector. So why don't you send them that too? You see what I'm saying? Send them that letter.
Okay.
The whole thing, what we got to get in mind is, we don't go in there with a double-barrel shotgun and try to shoot them down, right? And fight them. All we do is, okay, if I owe you some money, show me the law on how I owe you this money. I don't have a problem with paying you, but I want to pay what I lawfully owe. That's how we started off the letter. Show me how I owe you. And that's mainly how I handle everything. Okay, you said I owe you something? Show me.
Okay.
All right, I'm going through some of these questions on this chat. Put a link for the forms in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to give you those forms. My screen went blank. How do I get screen back? Baba Jamu. Just close and open the page and it should come back. Nina wants to ask a question. Let's see. Let's go to her. But see, every time I open Nina mic, she got all that stuff going on back there. All right, Nina, I'm going to need you to cut some of that background noise out so we can get your question answered, all right? I can't find her now. Okay, there she go. All right, Nina, your mic's open. You got too many computers on. You got something going on in the background. Shut it down. Well, you must have two windows open. Like you open two of the Fuse apps at the same time.
Let me see. Let me close out this window.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't lose.
Yeah, you're killing us right now.
Okay, there you go. Close everything, but it's still that squeaking noise.
Yeah, because there's something open. There's still something is open. It got better.
Yeah, I was trying not to actually delete you out.
No, don't delete me. Because you're going to lose me.
We'll just type in chat.
Well, type me in the chat and then I'll answer that question. All right? All right. While she's typing her question, let's see. How do I am not seeing the screen. Philip McKinnon, close your app down and open it back up. Are you able to email all the files discussed this morning? Yeah, I'm the one with the notices. Y'all email you guys. Everybody that I have on my list, I'll email that to you. All right. Nina says, my husband is paying $300 a month on $8,000 debt, and we want to know what we can do. He is a self. Send that letter. First, no contract to the payment plans that you've already signed. Put a no contract on it. Send it back out along with this letter that I have that I showed you. And stop making payments. Every time you make a payment, you recontract. Because what they're going to do is when you stop making payment, they're going to send a letter, hey, you haven't made your payment. So what you do is put no contract on that, send them the letter. All right, that basically should take care of that. Can you use this letter if the IRS is stating that your business owes them? Yes, you can use this letter. Isn't that Babe in Puerto Rico? Yes. That the Secretary of the IRS is in Puerto Rico. I got the same letter 2 weeks ago. All right, Magic Marker, may I have a copy of that letter? Yes, well, I've already addressed that. I have a question. For some reason, my speaker would not allow me to speak. My voice will not come through. Should I remit number with the lien language if I have no lien yet? No, don't do that. Always speak the truth. Be honorable. Or somebody says if you dialed in through the phone and you have your PC up, it will create feedback. That is correct. So that might help Nina. The letter is a good for garnishment of Social Security benefits. If it's for a tax, yes, that letter is good. Vince 2, here's my question. My question, I am self-employed and a W-9 type entity. I've been audited in the past during the crash back in 07 and 08. I've had to pay back at least $3,000 for the past 3 years each. Being that I have a contract with them to pay a monthly installment, is there any remedy for the W-9? Yes, it is. You can do that. Send the letter. What tax are you trying to do? See, you're a contractor, right? That means you're trading your labor for compensation. So really, that's not taxable. Now, if you set it up as an LLC, it's basically taxable. And you know what I want y'all to get in mind? Remember the Constitution says that they can't abridge your religious freedoms? So if we are the children of God, how come we are not setting up our businesses under religious corporation laws? That's how the county got it set up. How come you're not doing that? Because once you set it up under there, you could be fixing houses. That's still a ministry. We got to you're doing something. It's how you classifying your businesses what's keeping you in their jurisdiction. And we all know they can't tax religious organizations. Now, we're not saying go out there and get a 501c, 508. We're not saying that. What I'm saying is, you should be doing all of your business under God or whatever you believe in, and claim that. And plus, in your case, 9-8 numbers and all of that stuff, you need to be setting all of that stuff up, and then setting up your business as a trust. That will help you. And the reason why you owe money is they said they audited you. Remember, during the audit, they ask you, do you agree to the proceedings? Before they start asking you questions, they always want you to agree to the proceedings. Don't agree. Remember, the taxing people are not police. They're not even a judicial branch of the government. So they have no authority. They're just glorified secretaries and administrators pretending to have authority. So don't agree to these meetings. See how you got where you owed the money? You went to this audit and you agreed to let them look at your books. You don't have to let them look at nothing. All right, let's move on. How do I contact you to find out how much you are going to charge for your letter? Just send me an email. Here's my email, Cartrell. Okay, I got your email. I do have a 47 number. Okay, that's good. All right. Anybody else got a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
First of all, I wanted to share a U.S. code with you. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Hey, I can be taught. What's the code? What is it?
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me get it up because I'm gonna put it in so everybody can see it. Go ahead. What is it?
It's 26 U.S. Code Section 6001.
6001. This one.
Uh-huh.
Every person liable for any tax imposed by this title or for the collection thereof shall keep such records, render such statements, make such returns, comply with such rules and regulations as the secretary made from time to time prescribed. Whenever the judgment of the secretary is necessary, he may require any person by notice served upon such person or by regulations to make such returns, render such statements, or keep such records as the secretary deems sufficient to show whether or not such person is liable for tax under this title. The only records which an employer shall be required to keep under this section in connection with charged tips shall be charged receipts, records. Okay, now let's look at the wording here. It says every person liable. Are you liable? Are you a 14th Amendment citizen? Remember, the rule is only people responsible for taxes are people who work for the government.
Yes.
Or a citizen. So let me ask you, why were you showing me this code?
No, I was showing you the code because I know someone who used this code, and they used it, and from what I got from it and from how he used it is that he said that he never received a notice from the secretary stating that he owed a tax.
Right. Well, that's a good strategy. Basically, we said the same thing in the letter that I showed you.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's why I was wanting to share this code with you because it's saying the same thing.
It's saying the same thing.
Notice from the secretary, then you don't have to owe no tax.
Right. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point because we basically you did the same thing, but you did it in a different way. You used this, or they used that as a way to say, hey, I didn't get anything from the secretary. But here's the catch-22 with that. When you say you didn't get it from the secretary, you still haven't distinguished yourself from the in legis. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's the point that I want to make is you always want to separate yourself from the in legis. So if I say, well, I didn't get it from the secretary, but I'm still an in legis. So what we're saying is you're not an in-legis, so you shouldn't even be liable for any type of tax. There is no law on the books that say you're supposed to be paying taxes. They're not supposed to be taxing us for anything. The Constitution provides that you're not supposed to be taxed. But we pay through what? Voluntary surrender of our rights. We don't stand on them. We're just following the herd. Or people are following the herd. And here's the thing. If you're filing tax returns, that puts you in their jurisdiction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I filed a tax return and with the state and also with the federal. When I filed the tax return, I also, instead of filing a regular form W-2 that the job give you, I filed a form 4852.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that form.
You say you familiar with it?
No.
Okay.
You said 4852?
Yes, form 4852, yes.
And what does that do, that form?
Okay,
That's a substitute for the W-2 form if you don't have it.
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
No, it's also it's a substitute. It's also stating that the W-2 form that the job giving you is incorrect.
Right.
And this the correct form.
Right.
Okay. So I use this form instead of sending the W-2 to let the IRS know that the W-2 that the job gave me was incorrect, because it's stating on the W-2 that my wages, my income and wages are basically hold on one second. Yeah, it's stating that my wages or whatever are taxed, and I'm a U.S. citizen. So this is the reason why I sent this corrected form, and I filed it.
Now repeat what you just said before you went to U.S. citizen.
No, what I'm saying is the W-2 form is basically saying that you are a U.S. citizen, and this is your wages, your income for the year. Right?
Okay. Right. That's what it is.
Okay.
But have you read the whole form? Even read the instructions of this form?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so I sent this as a replacement. Now I filed income tax with the state, and I received my tax return back, and they gave me every single penny.
Okay.
For the year.
Right.
Okay.
Now.
I also filed it with.
Now, I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna say something. Go ahead.
Okay. And then I also filed it with the federal, and they received it, and I haven't received anything back. So I contacted them, and they said my tax return is still being processed.
Okay.
So it's going on into the next following year now. And
Okay.
I haven't heard.
Well, let me explain something to you. What could happen?
Okay.
And I'm looking at the form, and I got it up, and I hope people can see it. Under penalties, I'm going to read what penalties are. The IRS will challenge the claims of individuals who attempt to avoid or evade their federal tax liability by using Form 4852 in a manner other than as prescribed. Potential penalties for the improper use of Form 4852 include accuracy-related penalties equal to 20% of the amount of the taxes and should have been paid. Civil fraud penalties equal 75% of the amount of taxes that should have been paid, and a $5,000 civil penalty for filing a frivolous return or submitting a specified frivolous submission as prescribed by Section 6702. What I know about the IRS, they will give you money up front so that they can turn around and take it back plus some. You see what I'm saying? That's another contract. So you may not have heard anything back from the federal because right now they could be looking at, investigating the fact that, why did you submit a 4852 and then let's look at your actual W-2 from the employer. And then they could, these people are, they just make rules. So they just, okay, this guy is this, and then they're going to charge you and send you another bill higher than the amount that you got back. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a possibility. Because you got to remember, when you used this form, you said you were a U.S. citizen. So you fall within their jurisdiction, meaning they can do whatever they want to you. You have no rights. Ideally, you don't want to be doing tax returns. As you want to be private. But some of y'all don't have a choice. Y'all have jobs. And some of y'all don't make enough money where you can get some money back. And that's, that helps you out during the year getting some of that money back. I understand that. But whenever you do any of these forms, these are their forms. It belongs to them. And they get to govern it the way they see fit. So what I'm saying, you got some money back. That seemed good up front, but I know about them. What they don't get in the wash, they will get in the rinse.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is be prepared, but you can still fight that with the letter that I got. If that does come back that way, send that letter.
Okay.
Okay, how are you coming up with this number? What tax is this you're saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That should back them off you with that letter. And then do third-party debt collector letter along with it. Yeah, so you still can get remedy. I'm just preparing you for what may happen after the fact. Okay?
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
All right.
So, one more question. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, based upon what you said, it's best to take care of these issues, or I won't have this issue in the beginning by making the necessary corrections with the W-4 form.
Exactly. Don't give up your social. You won't have a problem. Yes, you're going to have. Yes, you won't get any money back at any year. You won't get your, what we call the ghetto lottery at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. You won't have that. But it's better than them coming at you and just saying, you did your taxes wrong and you owe me money now. Now you got to fight them on that. But at any point at any stage of the game, you have remedy. But it's always easier. I like to avoid contact with them. But if I have to have contact with them, then I know what to do. Prove your claim, basically. Prove that I owe you through law, and which codes are you using to tax me?
Okay,
I put it in their jurisdiction.
Say, for instance, I was to go into my human resources tomorrow. Should I do a new W-4 form and put tax exempt on there, and then also attach a letter stating that the reason why I'm not using my social security number on the W-4 form, and also,
that's a decision you're gonna have to make yourself. I showed you the law.
Okay.
You make that decision yourself. I don't want you going to say Hakeem said to do this, and then you lose your job and You pray on that. Burn some candles, do some spiritual bath, and you make that decision yourself. All right? Me personally, I don't put myself in their jurisdiction, but I'm just saying those are decisions you're going to have to make on a personal level. Because everybody needs their job.
One thing also that I noticed, brother, is you keep on saying it's your social. Once again, in in your mind, you don't know the difference between who you are and the legacy.
Hey, I can't.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, can you use, or would it be wise to use the EIN in place of the social?
You can, but you run a risk of them coming back and saying that they can't verify the social. But if that happens, you know, when they look for ID and all of that stuff, you can use a passport or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you first fill out those forms, they ask for proof of whatever, like one of the proofs is the social security card, but then they have an alternative proof that you can use. So yeah, you can go back and put your EIN number on there.
Okay, so anyway, it's pretty much what Jonah said. The safest bet is the W8 bet.
Right. Yeah. See, the problem is when you've already given it up and then trying to redo it, you know, you're dealing with human resource people that really don't understand tax code or the tax law or what can and can't be doing. They're just being told what to do. Because you know, I've been in orientations with 20 people and all they do is shove these forms in front of you to fill out. And what everybody do, they just fill them out. You know, they don't even read them. I was in one orientation where they shoved the form in front of me that said that they had the right to use my name for the rest of my life, and even my children didn't have a right to use it. Yeah, I worked for a company that shoved a piece of paper in front of me with that. Of course, I didn't fill that out, but what I'm saying is we got to start reading and paying attention to why we're feeling and what we're doing. We just doing stuff because we told that's what we need to be doing. So, yeah.
Hey, King.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm getting ready to get back on the plantation.
Mm-hmm. Why you want to do that?
Haven't figured it out.
Man, you want to go pick cotton? Come on, man.
Here's the deal. I'm trying to get processes and trying to take care of the family as well.
I understand. I got you. I understand. But you know, freedom starts in the mind first.
Absolutely.
Now, let me tell you something about what you just said. You're about to get back on the plantation, right? And with that, that's probably you having a similar situation that I had, where I went self-employed and things got really rough. I mean, really bad. And that wasn't too long ago. I'm talking about January of this year, where I thought I needed to go back on a plantation. But I endured it. And I found strategies to help me get by it. And now I'm doing better than I did the year before. See, sometimes you reach these difficult points. That's to test you. If you're going to keep moving forward or you're going to take a step backwards. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes that test is I got to take care of my family. And we use that as a reasoning for going back on the plantation instead of pushing forward. Because usually at your toughest time is your biggest break. You just got to be patient. So I don't know what your situation is. I'm just speaking for myself, what I went through this year. Jonah knows personally what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, so you know, with that in mind, you know, once I go into this personnel office, and it sounds as if I need to just do what I need to do to get in the door. You know, I don't want a bunch of questions and then work backwards.
No, remember when you go into the when they fill out the paperwork, all you do is fill it out and give it to them. They're gonna come back at a later time. Hey, you didn't put your social down, right? They're gonna come back at a later time. You still gonna get paid. They still gotta pay you. Because what you gonna do? You gonna fill out a direct deposit form, right? And that money's gonna go in there. You know? Or
This is not an entry level position, so it's you know.
Give them an EIN number. I mean, I can't really tell you how to handle your business, but
You're fine.
I mean, I wouldn't give them my social. Period. I'm not contracting with them. You know, they hired you. They wanted you for the job. I'm sure there's a remedy for you without giving them that social.
Absolutely. I'm definitely gonna try that though.
I mean, I've seen people going to jobs and they gave their kids shoes. So, because, like I said, Social Security card is not a requirement to prove your identity. Because really, when you go get a job, the first thing they want to prove who you are. You can use a passport, and that's it. So, but I ain't giving them the social. Just me. I won't give it to them. If I ever decided to go work for somebody, then I get it.
I'm definitely trying.
Yeah. Because that's where you contracting in. Because you giving up that in league is social, and you're letting them know, okay, it's time to tax me now. I'm part of the franchise. You see? All right. Anybody else?
Is there a difference between the Internal Revenue and the Internal Revenue Service?
The same thing.
One falls under Title 26 and one falls under Title 15.
Internal Revenue and Internal Revenue Service. I don't know. I never looked that deep. They sound the same to me. Jonah, you can answer that?
Okay, go to Title 15, Chapter 41, Subchapter 5, Section.
Hold on a second. You're moving fast. Title 15, Section 41.
Chapter 41.
Chapter 41.
Subchapter 5.
Sub 5.
Section 1692.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. All right. This looks like the Debt Collection Act. It's pulling up debt collection practices.
Okay.
That's what I got. Wait a minute, no, I pull up the wrong one. Hang on. Oh, before I let y'all, before we finish this, there was something I wanted to read y'all. But I'm finding what you're talking about first. You said internal revenue. Give me that again. 41.
Yeah, Title 15.
Title 15.
Chapter 41.
My spelling is getting bad. You said Internal Revenue Title 15 chapter
41.
41 sub 5.
Subchapter 5.
Okay. The IRS Title 15. It's saying IRS.
Okay. I was just trying to find out if there's a difference between the two.
No, they're the same. It looks the same to me.
Okay. Yes, there is a difference. I was trying to pull up documents that I have on it in the laws. They're separate.
And what makes them separate?
I'm trying to look in my bookmarks now. Let me see.
Somebody's speaking. But this all looks like the IRS, how to stop the IRS with debt collection statutes. Well, we've already told y'all that y'all can use a third-party debt collector letter for them.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
they are third party. They are third party. They're not a judicial branch of the government. They're a contractor hired by the government to extort money from you.
Right.
But there was something I wanted to read to y'all before we got off here. All right. This is something I forgot to read early on about your social security number, your Enligas number that belongs, to the Enligas. This is Public Law 93-579, approved December 31st, 1974. It shall be unlawful for any federal, state, or local government agency to deny to any individual any right, benefit, or privilege provided by law because of such individual's refusal to disclose his social security number. Right there. And that's on the Social Security website.
I remember this. This is on the Social Security website.
Right there. You don't have to, it's showing you that you can't be denied anything if you don't give it up. Right there. So I'll make a note of that. I would, I'm going to put that link in the chat. Where's the chat at?
That's
All right, let me find the chat.
Social Security Administration.
There we go. Here it is. I'm putting it in the chat for y'all. So y'all can go straight to it. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, I got one again.
Go ahead.
We were talking earlier, the first call. We were talking about how the IRS, they blocked me from claiming exempt. You told me to send them a letter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I sending a letter that you're talking about, or am I sending?
No, what you need to do with your case, because they blocked you, you need to get with your employer and show them that W-4 form saying that that's a voluntary act, that you can't be forced to fill out that form any way. You have to agree to that form. Because basically, if they're telling you you can't file exempt, right? They're saying that you have to do it a certain way. That form just showed you with the law that that's voluntary. And y'all have to agree on it.
Right. Now, am I sending IRS a letter too?
I would start with the employer, and I would, you know what I would do? I would ask the employer give you the documentation that the IRS used to make them do that. Get a copy of that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Did they ever show you any proof that you had to do it that way?
No, they just stopped doing it all of a sudden. Because when I went to claim exempt again, it just said we're stopping you from claiming exempt because the IRS did.
Well, they need to show you the proof that the IRS is making them do it.
Now, would they be able to show me the proof?
Yeah, they should be. Anything they gotta show you proof. Why they just gonna say you can't do something and then not show you proof? They got to show you something.
Right.
Okay, you saying that they doing that. Can I see the documentation that they're saying that you can do that? Because really your employer don't have an authority to enter any claim of exemption or non-exemption for you.
Right.
They don't have the authority to that. So far, it's all they just telling you they can't do it because the IRS said this, that, and the other. Well, let's show me. Where's that at? Show me what the IRS said. Show me the paperwork on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull that from them.
And
all right.
And then after I do that, then take it. Once I get that documentation.
Mm-hmm. What I would try to do is redact that social off there. Just get you another W-4 and update it.
And submit it to them?
Yeah.
Right.
I'd try to get that social off of there.
Why don't you say and use instead of dealing with the employee and stuff like that?
Say it again?
What if you say that we should do when we're like say if you're doing employment or whatever, you say we should be creative with it, or
like if you going to get a job and they want you to fill out the form? Yeah, the form that I'm going to give you going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay. The W-4 form.
Okay.
It's really, it gives instruction to the employer on what they put on it. Says an employee refuses to give social. You can do that, or some people use EIN numbers or whatever, but I wouldn't.
Using the EIN number, wouldn't you be a contract?
That is a contract. Anytime you go in and fill out that form, that's a contract. See that form right here? I just pulled it up again.
I got you. Okay, yeah.
Right there. That's for that one, and then there's this one for the W-4 form, how to fill that out. Right there.
All right.
You see it?
It's real blurry, but I see it.
Yeah, when you get it, you'll be able to clear it up. For some reason, this form here was blurry, but I can make it out pretty much. Just I printed them out so I could see. When I print them out, I can read them.
Okay.
But
I look at it about probably finding it somewhere online.
Yeah, but somebody gave me these when I did a consultation, and so I'm gonna give these to y'all. Everybody, I have their email, so make sure. I'm gonna send it to the email you paid with. So whoever paid, that's where that email is gonna get sent. I'm gonna send them out before the end of today. All right, and I'll have that letter, the IRS letter, up there, and I'm still deciding on what the charge is. It ain't gonna be much, but I'm gonna put that up there for y'all. All right, any other questions? It's 12:05. We were supposed to be doing 2 hours, but I'm still feeling alert.
Oh, okay, so I've been paying into the Social Security all these years. So what else happening to that money when I stop using the Social Security number?
Well, you're not going to be paying them any more money. See, they take the Social Security money and they build up an account for you. And that's how they pay you when you retire. But you do know that the money you're paying, somebody else is getting that money. So by the time you retire, it may not even be in the Social Security.
Right, so pretty much I'm shit out of luck then.
Yeah, they right now, the money that's paying to the generation that's retired now, your money is going to them. So they so far in debt with that. I would recommend everybody go read that Social Security Act. I think it's of 1938, something like that. Read that. Very interesting stuff in there. Showing you how much they're supposed to allocate each year and how they're supposed to handle it, that money. Yeah. Hang on a second.
I got a question.
Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hey, Lauren, let me call you right back. I'm still doing this webinar. Okay? I'll call you right back when I'm done. All right. Okay. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, has anybody accessed their Social Security? Getting out of your strong man, has anybody been able to access that fund?
You mean like get some money out of those accounts?
Like take over your Social Security.
Like totally? No, I don't know anybody that's done that totally. But I know people have gotten drawn down some money. But that's a private consultation. That's not something I'm gonna talk about on a recording. Okay. Yeah. So
I just want to congratulate you too, man, because you went in tough Thursday night on the Khalifa show.
Oh yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm actually gonna do a webinar on that. I'm gonna do a webinar. I'm gonna pull out my whole case.
I just may need that.
I'm gonna pull out my whole case and I'm gonna show y'all how I rebutted everything, all the paperwork I turned in, but I'm waiting for the actual decree to come in so y'all can see that I wasn't BSing. When the agreement comes in, because they don't give it to you right there on the spot. They put it together and then they mail it to you. So when I get that, so y'all I'm gonna put it. It's gonna be an open book. Y'all gonna see everything. What she was claiming, what her lawyer was trying to get and what I actually got. So I'm gonna do a webinar on that. So, because I think the problem that a lot of us brothers are having with those is they don't know how to address those affidavits properly. See, I addressed everything she did. It was like 19 points. Then it was some A, B, C, D, E's. And I addressed each one of them. So, you know, whether I agreed or I didn't agree. And how I addressed it was, when it was something I agreed with, I put granted. Something I didn't agree with, denied. Why? Because I'm the man in charge. Hello? Y'all still there? What happened? Hello? Hang on a second. I don't know what happened, but my mic just muted out and y'all can hear me? I don't know what happened. I guess they telling me I'm telling y'all too much. But yeah, I'm gonna go through that my whole case and show y'all what I did. Because basically when I went in the courtroom, I didn't have to say anything. They didn't even call my name. My name never was mentioned in the courtroom. They were calling her, but they never used my name in the courtroom, verbally. Now they looked over at me to see if I agreed with the terms, and I acknowledged that I'd agreed. Only time I had to speak is when she tried to get me to swear on the Bible, and I told her no. James 5:12 says, I'm not to swear on the Bible or I'll be condemned or judged. So I'll let my yes mean yes and my no mean no. And she said, yeah, I just want you to confirm or deny, whatever. And I was like, okay. And that was it. And when it was something I agreed with, I agreed with it. When it was something I didn't agree with, you know, there was one point about a car, and I made that clear. Hey, what about this car? And I gave the description of the car, and you know, I was able to, you know, get that car. But, you know, and then I did my spiritual work. That was the most important thing. But I'm gonna do a webinar for y'all. I'll probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I'm just waiting for the documentation. So, anybody else got questions?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I got the exact same letter from the IRS. It says they need 45 days. So just send it out 3 times. The letter that you showed us, and then
send that letter out, and the letter they sent you put no contract on it.
Yeah, but is there additional language we need, like opportunity to cure and intent to sue?
Well, yeah, you're right. On the second notice, I put second notice opportunity to cure in red. And then on the third one, I put third notice default in the date. Yeah, you're right. I'm good you mentioned that. That's glad you brought that up. Yeah, you got to let them know this is my second time asking you for this information. You have an opportunity to cure. Then on your third one, you put third notice default. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's correct. But any notice you get from them, always put no contract, send it back.
Okay. Yeah, I got that.
Always, because that's the game they play to recontract with you. Sending you a notice, oh, we need 45 days, but at the end of the letter, if you can make payments here if you want to. That's a sneaky way of saying that they're not asking you for the money, but they still expect you to send them some money. So you got to put no contract to that.
Okay, I paid somebody to put in a bond. Somebody created a bond for me. It obviously didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
You. I ain't giving them no bond. I ain't giving them no instrument. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You show me that I owe you, then I pay. Which they can never do. That's the.
Use an instrument though to pay it off, right?
You can. I've used an instrument in the past, but it don't always work. I found this to work better than the instrument. Saying, okay, well, I owe you. Show me how I owe you. Now they can never show me. They have yet to show me that, and did consultations with people and given them the same letter, and they all get the same response.
Okay. And that letter, that's the letter that you had on the screen earlier.
Right. That's the letter that I had on the screen earlier. You talking about this letter here.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it up there for the next 5 minutes, asking questions. Y'all got questions? Forever hold your peace. Let me look in the chat again.
Now, is there gonna be a recording of this that we're gonna get, or?
No, I'm not giving away the recordings. There will be a fee for the recordings. This is how we do things here. But you could have recorded. You could record it on your screen. I know a couple of people are recording it themselves.
I don't know how to do that. It's my first time using Fuse.
Oh, okay. But no, we do not give away the recordings. We sell those separately. But I'm giving y'all enough time to look at these forms so that y'all can get it down.
You can actually record with QuickTime.
Yeah.
But I do have one final question.
Go ahead.
For me. This might be something you've already answered, but once we send that letter in to terminate or contest the validity of the tax, would we altogether stop filing year after year, or file each year and follow up with a letter each year?
I wouldn't. If it was me, I wouldn't be filing, because if you're filing, you're saying you liable. It's like a contract. See, I'm teaching y'all this because I know people who have issues with taxes right now. And it always happens right before the end of the year. They start bombarding people with letters that they owe them something. So this is for people who are still in this position where they are dealing with the IRS trying to get money from them, or about to try to get money from them. Going forward, to keep yourself from having this problem, stop doing those tax returns. You know, because if you do the tax return, you're saying I'm a U.S. citizen, and you get to tax me. Because remember, you got to sign that form under penalty and perjury.
Yeah, that's right.
So once you sign that, you're saying, well, I agree. Now, I have gotten out of tax issues when they said, well, you owe, and I've used the excuse, well, you said I had to file, but you didn't say, I said, you never said I had to pay, but I did file. So, and you know, when you file bankruptcy, they require you to file your taxes. So how I handled that, I filed bankruptcy, then they said I owed, then I sent them this letter. And they sent me back that response. So that what I did that because I didn't want them to be a claim on the bankruptcy. So I sent them this letter. Well, show me how I owe you this money. And they still sent this letter. See? So this letter works even if you did the taxes. It still works, but why would you want to put yourself through that aggravation? You know? Because before that, I hadn't filed for like 5-6 years. I hadn't filed a tax return. So, and I was working on a job doing what the first caller did. He, I was doing exempt or claiming no tax, and you know, so that I can get all my money. So I was doing that.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it.
Question.
Go ahead.
Question. Okay, you're out of the system. You're no longer using your social. How do you go about obtaining your funds that are due you that are in the system? You know, you retire. How do you go about doing that?
Like you want Social Security benefits? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, because you're entitled to it, it's your money.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, Social Security, I know people on Social Security, there ain't no money that they pay. They don't really give you nothing. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen, just for the sake of the argument, whatever you paid in to up until this point, when you come time for you retire, they're going to take that money and divide it up over a monthly period over a certain time, and they're going to pay you that.
True indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
you trying to get it early?
No, I'm saying, I mean, if in fact, because I mean, I don't know anybody that has actually accessed it. I've heard, you know, that some people have. I really don't know anybody. But well, all I'm saying is I definitely want to access that money. And I'd rather, you know, do my due diligence to access the finances as opposed to let them have it. I mean, we all know, you know, the whole ploy of, you know, the fake money and everything. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't just want to, you know, walk away from that.
Well, yeah, but I feel you. But I've choose not to have contact with them at all. You know, well, here's the thing. What I'm doing for myself, I won't need no Social Security when it come time for it. I don't plan on fooling with it. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to let that be a loss. Whatever little bit of money they got, let it be a loss, because I'm going to make my money some other way. But I understand what you're saying, and that is your God-given right to go after what you can. But what I'm saying is you're going to have to do research on that, because I don't have real clear answers on that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have to do your own research, and you might tap into something that we, you know, add to this information through your research.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yeah.
A quick nugget.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to accept all the trusts, and there's at least 4. One is going to be your state constitution, the United States Constitution, HJR 192, along with 1786 U.S. Constitution, and the preamble. Once you accept all those, you're on your way.
Right.
And you have to retain certified copies from Jane Fitzgerald. That's just a nugget, and that's from a person who's already met with the Chancery.
Oh, okay.
As far as
man, good information, brother. I might need to get a consultation with you. What's your charge? See what you talk about. I really would like to get more information on that in the private.
We're taking it one step at a time. So,
yeah.
And even with this tax bill, he doesn't even file taxes and he doesn't have to pay anything. But because I'm still at the beginning stages, he's elected to tag along with at least 5 other folks in mine that I trained with.
Right.
So,
okay.
But those are the key elements. And understanding the master trust is the United States trust, and all that follows suit. They're all are tangible items together. So we're basically putting a packet to accept all those trusts. And therefore, you'll be able to tap into anything you need and live freely. But like I said, it's a training process. As I learn,
right,
we'll all learn.
Right. All right.
Let's network.
Yeah. Well, that's how this works. You know. Now, I'm done with what I had to give y'all. Unless you got some more questions.
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
On the paperwork, I see. Is that commissioner the same as far as every state, or?
Yeah, there's only one commissioner of the IRS or the Treasury.
Just of the Internal Revenue Service.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Is that okay? Got it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Hakeem, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Is Jonah available?
I don't know. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
He hadn't said nothing in a while.
Yeah, I was okay. I mean, I
Jonah.
sent him a couple of,
I don't think he's there, brother.
do you have his email address?
It's peacetothegods1@gmail.com. Or no, jonahbay@gmail.com. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought, but I put that in, and unless he just been that busy.
Brother, I sent Jonah emails, and I got to call him and ask him, hey, did you read that email? What email? Okay. You're not the only one. he probably gets so many emails. You can't read all of the emails. So I have to call him. So, and I work with him, and he like, did you get that link I sent you? What link? You're like, nigga, I sent it to you in your email. So don't take it personal. It is nothing personal about that.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Definitely.
He got, he's the number one man for the information, and everybody's trying to hit him up at the same time. So managing his personal life and doing this all at the same time, it's a lot. And to read. But I'll pass. What's your name? What's your
Kenneth Jones.
Kenneth Jones. I'll pass it on that you sent him an email and let him follow up from there.
Okay.
All right, Kenneth Jones.
Hey, I can.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Hello? Hang on. My mic. Looks like. I'm sorry. It got muted out for something. Go ahead. What was that?
This is a downbreak.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question because I'm a little confused. This whole process here becoming private. Now, I thought everybody, both stations, even the stations you guys came from before, everybody did the whole secure party process. But I heard Jonah talking next week that the whole secure party process doesn't work. So
we don't do that. We don't even teach that.
What I've been reading to authenticate the birth certificate.
That's not the secure party process. That's not part of that. That's part, we call it becoming private process. We don't teach the secure party creditor process at all. That don't work, like you said.
Okay, so I'm getting that. So after the birth certificate, what's the next level?
You need your, I'm going to run through it real quick because that's a little bit off subject. It's a lot off subject. You need to do your non-UCC. See, the secure party process teaches the UCC.
Right.
We teach the non-UCC, copyrighting your name, doing your DBA, setting up your lien, setting up your 9(a) trust, those things. So what you need to do is go listen to some of the earlier shows at Hindsight, and you'll hear that process. All right?
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
And then while you're on that subject,
yeah.
Okay. Is it necessary to have your birth certificate authentic?
Let me stop. I'm gonna stop recording from this point because I don't want all of this on the recording because it's unnecessary.
Okay.
Recording of the conference
Go ahead.
stopped.
Okay, you have to get a double authentication, like on the state level as well as
Yeah, you need a state level and you need the federal level at least.
Okay.
Some states are different. They require 3 authentication: county, state, and then federal.
Oh, okay.
Like New York is a 3-part authentication.
Okay.
In South Carolina, it's a 2-part. All right. But I have the webinar on the birth certificate authentication on my website at HindsightRadioCommerce.com.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we sending the birth certificate with this letter, or that doesn't have?
No, you don't need to do. Not for this. No, you don't even have to have anything on for this to work. You don't have to have anything done with this part.
Right on.
Yeah, this works for anybody. Yeah. All right. With that being said, that's it. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all have any questions, just go ahead and email me. And I'll hit y'all back as soon as I can. All right, you're welcome. I appreciate y'all time and y'all donations. And I will make sure that letter is available for y'all at a reasonable price. And like I said, I'm gonna send you those other forms free of charge, that y'all can use on the job or whatever, or just have it for info. I'll get that out to you. Actually, I should have it out within the next hour to you.
Cool.
All right? And I'm going to be sending it to the payment email. So if you using another email other than that, it's not going to go to that email. It's going to the email that I got payment from. All right? So check that email. All right. All right. Peace to the gods. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy y'all weekend.
Thanks, fellas.
All right.